You have to fix the sign behind me. Wait. How you guys doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year too.
Oh God.
How was your New Year?
So the person we're gonna do today is not like the yogis, or even like Snoop, or like the rappers. They're a little different. The person we're gonna do today.
Udah record?
Record. So the person that we're gonna do today. Hi Anna. Charles X, what's up? Michael, blessings. Happy New Year. We're blessed to be in here with so many of us gone. We lost a lot of friends, right? Especially this man here lost more friends than, I don't know, maybe more friends than me. Probably not to COVID because he's young still. But I'm gonna do this. Every year there's the wrap up. Every year, I swear, it's better than CNN. A wrap up. This wrap up raps about all the shit that went on for the year. And he raps in terms of, just like real talk, like the way we discuss things. He's got an opinion on everything. And it's always been inspiring to me. Like every year we play that shit like 100 times. You don't play CNN 100 times. This year, is the rain too loud?
Yeah.
You think it's too loud? Can you hear me? You hear me? It's raining loud. But Uncle Murder. Every time I say it, it makes me giggle. Uncle Murder is like always, he's like one of the rappers that rappers respect. Not a giant superstar, but he's a star amongst rappers. Like rappers, he's the real salt of the earth, the real thing. So, anybody know Uncle Murder? Of course you do, right? I got so many yogis and like people who are removed from hip hop on this. But I'm gonna distribute this. Maya goes today to all the formats, right? Or did she go? Probably today. Today's the first one that was actually distributed beyond my little networks. And then we have Snoop. And we have like, I don't know, 20 really good ones. But we're gonna keep, those were practice, I thought. But some of them are so good, like Russell Peters is such a good conversation and we share it with everyone. But anyway, Uncle Murder does a year-end wrap-up. I look forward to it every year. It's always amazing. Like in that, he got like little insights that the hood has. Everybody knows it. Like poets, like rappers, they say stuff that everybody respects and knows, but they're afraid to say. Yeah, R.I.P. Larry Smith. That's right. Let me see if he's on. He's supposed to get on with me. This is my little nigga here. No, not questions. Little nigga, Charles X. Charles, you know I am. Uncle Murder. Let's see if Uncle Murder's on yet. David. But I gotta call this nigga and see. Yeah, I gotta call him, I think. I still got the lines in my face from the. I wear a face mask. Nigga said some bitch shit. You shouldn't wear a face. But it blocks the light out. I wanted to speak to Erica Ford before I spoke to Uncle Murder because I need him to do me a favor. He does the wrap up every year. Exactly, Charles. We get ready to speak to this nigga right now. I said, Russell, why do you say the N-word? I'm 63 years old. I've been saying this. My father was a professor eventually. We started out in South Jamaica in the hood. We moved to Queens, which was the hood. But he eventually became a professor. My nigga, come on, hop on with me. Hop on Instagram. You coming on right now? All right, peace. So he, my father, he said nigga so much. But it's an endearing term. Language is, it's semantics for me, but not for the white people listening. Semantics. It's a term of endearment. That's my nigga. I've been saying my whole life. Alicia. Oh, I love you, Alicia. Fine, motherfucker. God bless you. So Uncle Murder's coming up. She laughed. Uncle Murder, every year, like we all look forward. I say we. I'm old, but we all look forward to this guy's wrap up because the shit he says is so insightful. And this one, like all of them, I listened to like 8 times. Like I keep listening to it, and I think a lot of people listen to it a lot. And it's really his calling card. Even though he's made a lot of records that kind of broke him out. Oh, he's on there. Let me see if I can get this nigga. Yeah, he is. Lenny Grant.
Let me tell him how I got his number. All right. I'm waiting for Uncle Murder. He got to come here and bring his kids. He has beautiful kids. I met them on my nigga. Wait,
What's
the volume.
good,
Oh, the
Russ? What's
headphones.
looking like,
Where the
man?
headphones? Where the headphones? How can I hear him without headphones? Oh, they're right here. All right. Good evening, Unc.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. How you doing,
So I was
Icon?
just saying, well, we're going to edit this, right? So it won't be too twisted. But it's such a pleasure to have you on here. And
It's a pleasure
sometimes
to
I've been
be
going
on
off
here,
on
man.
I've been going off on tangents. I've been having these yogis on and these like, and every so often I get a real nigga on here and people are like, well, why do you guys speak like that? I was saying before you got on that every year your year-end wrap-up is like famous in the hood and amongst everybody as hip-hop crosses over. Still, every little white kid, everybody gets your wrap-up.
Definitely.
And so,
Definitely.
I like it better than CNN's wrap-up because I don't play CNN shit 10 times. I play yours 10 times.
I appreciate
So,
that. That's what I'm talking about, Russ. You know what I'm saying?
nigga, you look and you say things. The thing about art, poetry, and music is that they say things that people are thinking, but they, bitch asses. Niggas really can't say what they think.
They won't say it. Listen, the things that I say, you would never hear another artist say because they don't want to ruin relationships and things of that nature. And that's why I really do it because I know nobody else would never say the things I'm saying like that.
But everybody's thinking them.
Everybody's
everybody's thinking everything out your mouth. So you begin. That's the point. Like when the world goes wrong, the artist set it straight with real talk. Mm-hmm. When the world goes wrong, the poets come and say, well, why is you putting niggas in ovens? I always say that. People say they get upset. The Holocaust. Or why in Rwanda are they doing what they're doing, killing 1 million people because they're different religion? Or why in the Eastern Bloc were they having genocide? Or they don't even say. People just shut up and do what the rest is doing. They never put it straight. They never straighten it out. They never call out their own leaders when their leaders are wrong. They're just afraid.
Yeah,
and you have exuded courage.
And I like to be different. I like to be the one that's like, nah, I'm gonna call it out. If it is what it is, I'm gonna stand on it too.
Well, the truth is the truth. Everybody's quiet. Niggas, I feel like some of the things I do, like I say things, the animal industry hates me. I mean, they would really literally spend a fortune to kill me. All the niggas I stop eating meat, and Jay and Beyonce, all them going vegan, all that, that's a nucleus of something I've been begging them about 20 years, and all of these other people. And so they don't like me. The prison industrial complex don't like me. Because, and even the Democrats, they used to go up and down in limousines to the prisons or to Albany, and then we, have a relationship and get paid by them. But they knew they had to change the law anyway, because they had to do it for the people, because the people knew. So when you share the truth with the people, then they sometimes act on it. So the poets and rappers like you are the ones who will set us straight. And I'm particularly proud of you because the courage that you exuded, and many things you said A lot of bitch. I mean, I couldn't say bitch niggas. A lot of niggas wouldn't say it, and it was very important. And last year, I even heard you say something about me. I was like, yeah, a lot of these scary niggas don't even want to stand up.
Yeah, that was
But
me talking about. That was me talking about Oprah hating on you a little bit, Russ. You know, I had to get her a little bit for you, man, because I just didn't appreciate it. I didn't appreciate when there's people out there like the Harvey Weinsteins that they could be wasting their time on talking about. Don't leave my guy alone. Stop it. Like, stop it. And that was that.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people are scared because they don't know what's in their own closet. They don't know. Anybody can get it. If you talk about, especially little pimp niggas that been in the street and did, you know, you be pushing. You didn't push anybody. I mean, pimp niggas and street niggas who are players, whatever. You know, you all got yourself in, you know, what somebody can misinterpret. And then, so the point was, you said something when others wouldn't, and that's what artists are for. Courage, you know, and saying the truth, and they changed the world because of it. So thank you for being you. And I'm gonna play your wrap up. Like I'm gonna play different parts of it. It's long. So I'm playing the beginning, the middle, and end.
Yeah, it is a little long. It's a little long.
It's not too long. There's still all the subjects you could have touched.
I probably missed one or two things, man. I missed a couple of things.
Yeah, but you're really so wait. You do this wrap up, and people hear these words, and they get the courage themselves to repeat them. They say them differently, but it's like, well, if Uncle Murder said it, now I can say it. And maybe through your work, the world changes. That's the fact. There's no question. So one of the things I want to talk to you about, besides, I want to hear how you got started. This is the whole truth. I just named it. After rehearsing 15 podcasts, I said I'm going to call it The Whole Truth with Uncle Rush, because niggas be telling me the truth. Definitely. Like, people say shit that they wouldn't have said. 50 gave me your number. And, because that's my nigga. We from Queens, all of right. You from Brooklyn, right?
Definitely, of course, yeah.
Right, so we like,
yeah.
Right, so 50 gave me your number. And I think about 50 and his courage. And I would talk about him and you later. But your story about how you became the rapper's rapper and how many rappers really respect you is one that people should hear, because it's part of, like, when you get that, you know how long it took for Sam Jackson to be a superstar?
Definitely.
You know how long it took Jay-Z to be a superstar?
I heard about it.
Right. So here you are, a superstar amongst rappers, but you need that extra giant hit that you deserve for people to really respect everything you've given, and then all the rest of the groundwork bubbles up. So I wish that would happen for you, but in the meantime, you know, you're doing all right.
Of course. You gotta make it do what it do. Of course.
Tell me how you got started.
You know, actually, my story started. I was around 17. And I was on the run for allegedly shooting somebody, right? Allegedly.
Did you allegedly shoot him? Don't say that. I don't want to.
Yeah, I shot this motherfucker.
It's too long ago. They can't prosecute for allegedly shooting nobody no more.
So whatever. Say you shot somebody in the hood, whatever. Let you shot somebody. So then I'm on the run now. I'm on the run from the police at this time. They looking for me, whatever the case may be. So I'm staying at my uncle basement in Queens on the low. I'm staying at my uncle basement over there, and he had a studio in his basement. So I just be recording music. Had a little group at the time. We just kept recording music, and then I heard the Locks on the radio, and I was big fans of what they was talking. They was all that street shit they was talking. I heard them on the radio with Funk Flex popping mad shit. I'm like, you know what? Let's go to Hot 97. I said we need to go to Hot 97. And we need to run down on the Locks. Whoever they with, we need to run down on them. I'm like, yo, let me rap for these niggas, and they gotta feel me. I'm like, the shit that they talking about, they gotta feel what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So my uncle like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, let's go. So we rolled up to Hot 97, waited for them to come outside. D, Y, Styles, P, Sheik, Kiss. I'm like, yo, what's up, man? Yo, my name is Murder. I got some shit. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I'm on the run, and I need to talk some shit for y'all. D, like, you on the run, nigga. I'm like, yeah, I'm on the run, Supposedly I did X, Y, and Z, but hopefully the nigga don't snitch because he an official nigga. So once he get better, I don't think he gonna snitch. So we can do business. You know what I mean? It was like they said this sound a little interesting, so they wanted to hear me spit. So I spit some shit, and Styles P just grabbed me. Like when I finished spitting my rhyme, he just grabbed me like, yo, this nigga's the truth. Yo, D, fuck with this nigga. You know what I mean? Then I jumped in a little van with them, and we went riding around the city to a couple niggas battling and shit. And D just wanted me to sit back and watch people. And then from there, he just kept me in the studio. Like I used to be around when DMX was recording. Eve, I'd be around when the Locks was recording. With D, just way back, just sitting around watching. I was actually supposed to get on a compilation they did, but I wanted to go do some nonsense in the hood and missed it. And D was so pissed off at me. But yeah, so my whole music career started with Rough Riders. Like that's how I started fucking with Rough Riders.
D and Y. D don't know a story that when he got in his accident, that I went to a billionaire's house and flew him by helicopter to a different hospital. And I speak to him, like me and him is cool. And I never told him, nigga, I tell your life, right? I ain't never told him that. I never told him, how you got from one hospital to the next and you got in that hospital? The middle of the night. I went over to Ron Perlman's house, who hired a helicopter to fly him to the next. But anyway, that's another story. I got stories too, nigga. You know what I mean?
Of course,
but
of course.
Those guys had good ears, right? And they had my favorite rapper probably of all time. Him and Chuck D is DMX, right? So they was like family, and they were part of the Def Jam family. But
definitely.
started with them. That's interesting because they, and then the Locks in general.
Definitely.
They were like,
my first record deal was a bag of guns and $10,000 from Vietnam.
A bag of guns?
A bag, because they know I had some issues. D knew some people I had beef with, so he was like, hey, you got to be a little careful.
A bag of guns?
I was beefing with some old timers. So he was like, yo, you got to be careful.
That's what I want to talk about, too. We came up being socialized in ways that, we wanted to protect ourselves in some cases, or we wanted to make a name because that was part of our process, or we did things that really, I always say, God, they're like, why you bring that shit up? Right? But what's in Scripture is true. You try to choose what's the easy route, the right route, and then you live longer, you live happier, you live safer. It's all in the books. It's all in every book. But we're not trained that. Even if they make us go to church, we get home and they don't show us that.
Mm-hmm.
So we come out of the hood. I remember, I was telling you, we saw a little coke, but I used to have ounces of coca leaf incense, and niggas would shoot it. They used to shoot coca leaf incense. Y'all know if you know that. And they shoot it with their dope. So we had a house set up, and niggas would. So I don't know why I did what I did, but it was. I got shark skin, pants and alligator shoes. I didn't know why I did what I did.
Mm-hmm.
But it was socialized in me to make it. Even though I was living in Hollis, it wasn't that bad. Like, we had TVs and shit. Like, we wasn't foreign to. We had light bulbs, you know what I mean? And but we don't know. I'm saying, you got light bulbs, you got toilets, you know what I mean?
You don't even realize that's your blessing. That's a blessing right there and shit.
How do we know when we're young, when everybody's teaching us something else? So I like to explore that because a lot of yogis will listen and they have judgment, discernment of others who live a different life. We came up different. We wanted to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And making it included a lot of stuff. A bag of guns. I got to go back to that, my nigga. They gave you a bag of guns and $10,000 to sign a contract.
And I love D for life for that. I love him. Because to me and my niggas at the time, the guns was everything. We didn't even care about the money. We was already getting our own little money. So the money was just like, all right, cool. That was extra. The guns was everything. You know what I mean?
But when we're lucky, we survive. And a lot of our friends don't.
Definitely.
I lost, when I was talking about how when I was a kid, when I first got hot, all the niggas that came up with me, I saved a few, You know, I found Bimmy. You know, little Bimmy.
Of course
I
not.
found
My
Bimmy.
guy. That's my guy right there.
I found Bimmy in the street. There was some dirt going on that he was really in trouble. And he got on the road with me and Running D and all of us. And next thing you know, he was working with us. Next thing you know, he worked at Def Jam. And all of his friends went to jail.
Right? Wasn't he with
Of course. That was a little later, yeah.
Facts.
But Queens niggas. So we took him on the road with us. He braided his hair because niggas was looking for him. I'm not even going to say the story. But then he became an A&R director, and his life changed. And it was real easy just to give a nigga a chance. But the Supreme and Carly and Fat, you know, all that whole Queens crew. And then I had friends mostly from Harlem who I spent more time with, who became like glue. You know, they got, you know, and all of them died and went to jail. So I tell you this because I bet you lost a lot of friends.
Of course. Of course. Of
right.
course. You know, we was talking about that a little bit earlier. I told you, shit, you asked me how many. I said too many to count, Russell.
Right.
Too many. Too many.
And life is precious. I lost a lot of friends this year. Aside from losing them back then when I was your age and a little younger, everybody was dying like flies, but they were dying from the streets and the murder. But as we, you know, now friends are dying from corona.
Definitely.
You know, and
definitely.
And what your job now, Uncle Murder, I think part of your job is to really use your experience to teach youngsters to break generational curses. Like stuff that we did and saw. We saw it and we look back on it and say, well, we didn't get nothing out of it.
Definitely.
I see you had two beautiful daughters.
We lucky we survived that shit, honestly. And then you would look at it back in hindsight, it wasn't even really worth it. Like certain things wasn't even worth it. You like, damn, you really lucky you survived it, because if you didn't, it wasn't even worth it. Like it really wasn't.
The only thing that was worth it was that you survived it, came through it, and can share your experiences. You can share how you got out of it. Well, I had to navigate. You know, here's also a difference. Some rappers and record company owners who came out of the hood, they glorified all the friends they brought with them rather than showed them the way, right? Say, you know, maybe you could do this instead, right? That's really the blessing when you can pull people out of the hood and give them a better life, and they could give, you know, their kids something different, break a generational curse and become like a whole different family than the family you came up in.
Definitely.
And that's really what happens when you survive. Wisdom sets in, and really you exude that. You can hear in your rap today versus your early raps and before that raps that you know, you've grown so much.
Definitely. Like, you know what it is? Because like I appreciate my experiences and what I've been through, but I definitely don't want that for my kids. Never ever. So that's where evolving comes, you know? Like, so it's like, man, I got to look at things a little different and move a little different, and because I want so much more for them. You know what I mean? So much more. So it's like I got to move a little different. You know what I mean? That's a very
profound and important statement. It seems simple, but it's the truth. You know, I talk about things as foreign to some people in the hood as animal rights, all the way to just the violence that's going on in Queens, which you're aware of, and in Brooklyn. There's two programs in Queens. There's Man Up in Brooklyn, and there's Life Camp in Queens. And I don't know if you know, but Erica Ford, who is from Life Camp, said that you made a few calls to set people up in dialogue that saved their lives.
Definitely.
Just little phone calls that you make.
Definitely.
And because they respect you so much. Like I go to the hood. I brought DMX with me last time. It was a couple of years ago. And we talked to like warring factors and people in Queens. And they were sitting in the same room. And DMX said a lot of really good stuff. But I kept saying, D, like, you know, you going too far, like you damn near supporting. But he was finding the right balance of how to say to them, let it go.
Definitely.
Like, we got other shit to do. And he said it, and when it was finished, I knew that I could never have said it as well as DMX said it. And just like your voice is so powerful. So when we get off, I want to plug you into Erica and to the
Definitely.
Man Up people, just so when the time comes, because you know these niggas, you know from the different projects, some of the people who are killing each other, and right now it's worse than ever. And I bet you could just do little things, you know,
No,
not
of course,
snitching.
of course, definitely, of course.
You don't have to snitch. All you got to do is call someone. You know, let me tell you what I did. I used to always get a
Definitely
call.
no snitching, Russell.
Pharrell said he's snitching on everybody. I was like, I respect it. I told a nigga that one time. I'm not, you know, I'm not really. I told a nigga, he said, "Welcome to L.A., motherfucker. Pay tax." And you know, I'm a little skinny now. I was skinny back then too. I was like, pay tax, nigga. I pay the police. I pay the fucking governor. Governor's my man. I kept going on like, pay tax. Like, what the fuck? I pay tax. I said, nigga, you don't want. I said, yeah. He said, give me your number. I said, you text you, put your number there. I'll text you mine. The text just came out. I said, motherfucker, I said, I'm gonna pay tax. I'm gonna call the police chief, my nigga. He'll come get you. But I know it's a horrible thing to say. But snitching was never my thing. But you know, it's like you got to have people that make a smart, straight choice have some kind of protection. Unless niggas, like my conception would protect me. So I ain't had to snitch. And plus Italians and all kinds of different. When you get a little money, all of the gangsters, not only the hood gangs, everybody get around you.
Of course.
So I was surrounded by a lot of people who would always ask me, are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Like, don't help me. Don't help me. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers be murdered in the street if somebody help you. So you don't want to tell your niggas when you have an argument with somebody these days, right? Because if you tell them, the niggas be laid up in the street. They be like, can I borrow? Or whatever, you know. Oh, yeah, that's taken care of. Like, you don't want...
Oh, yeah, like, none of that. None of that.
I don't need help. Thank you, though. Motherfuckers. So it's nice to have people that love you. But you got to give people a way out of the suffering. Like, you got to remind people that they can't give you nothing. There's such a consumerism culture and we want stuff so bad that we forget our soul. They can't really give us nothing. I like to say this, I don't know if you can respect, God can only give you a comfortable seat. If you can sit up and be at ease, then that seat, the longer you can make that seat work for you, that's happiness, that's life. Ain't nothing else they can give you. Because if you get a big house, you only sit your ass in one seat anyway.
Definitely.
So learn to be comfortable in your seat, and then you'll attract the stuff. You'll write a better song. You'll be a better everything. Than worried about the noise on the outside. It's the silence on the inside. And you learn that because as you get older, it just sets in. You realize these niggas in the street and their stories don't matter to you.
Definitely.
What matters is you and your children.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that. So I want to call on you to try to plug you into these programs, not for you to snitch, but for you to call up niggas. I used to call niggas all the time and say, yo, please, so-and-so is scared, man. Why you trying to murder him? He said he's going to kill me. That motherfucker ain't going to bust a grape. You just be cool. And they okay. For you, Unc. Then I call other guys and say, you don't want to be in beef with him because it ain't going to turn out good. Not only for you, for him either. I know it ain't going to turn out for him, you know, because everybody got an ego. And then the next thing you know, they be making a song together. Mm-hmm. I did it, I don't know, 100 times, 50 times, 70 times, where people just a phone call from someone like Uncle Murder, who they respect, say, let it go. So I'm going to call on you for that, but that's something else.
Yeah, if I could save a couple of lives, man, I'm definitely with that, man. You know what I mean? So I don't mind definitely trying to ease some drama and all that shit. You know what I mean? You know I'm with that, Russ.
I know you are. So wait. He will talk about all the events of the year, just the way CNN would, but much better. Chuck D used to say CNN was the hip hop, the CNN of hip hop. How did do you remember the first verse?
My first
I'm gonna play it, but yeah, what's the first verse?
The first
Remember it? Yeah.
In 2020.
Yeah.
Damn, what was my first line?
It was about Kobe, I think.
Yeah. It was about Kobe. Yeah.
You don't remember?
I do remember it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Could you spin so we just people get an idea? They'll go back and play the whole song 8 times like me.
Okay.
Said,
yeah, definitely. You want me to spin it a little bit?
Yeah, spin it a little bit.
I'm a fan, Heavenly Father, but right now I'm booing you. What did Kobe, Gigi, and the mother passages do to you? My condolences at this time is all I can offer. Kobe got me out here spending more time with my daughter. You know what I mean? So that's how I started it off right there.
Right. You know, it's like the heart. It wasn't just the facts. It was the heart in each case. That's what happened with me. When I seen that's why it stuck to me, the first verse. Because I got 2 daughters. Same, and one of them is an athlete, the same as Kobe. I mean, like, it broke my heart because
you taking him from us had the whole world stressed. You could have took Lamar Odom or Delonte West.
Lamar's a good dude. I was like, oh shit.
I know.
I know, but
I gotta get him. I like. To the NBA, like, you know what I mean? So I had to
Lamar's a good dude. I took him to yoga.
You took him to yoga?
I tried to take him to yoga and hot yoga and because Chloe is a friend and he's a good dude at heart. Them drugs, man, them powder. When I was young,
I know. I just got
that powder. You can't beat that motherfucking powder.
50 even told me he a good dude. 50 said, yo, man, Lamar Odom solid. I know. I just got a sense of humor. Right. I can't help this shit sometimes. What the fuck?
It was funny. I laughed too, man. It's kind of, it's true. I mean, it'd been a lot less stink had he checked out instead. Yeah, but he's here, and we pray for his. We pray that he does. Because I know he got married again. I see him, and he's a good dude. Funny nigga, though. But it was a good line. I mean, I wouldn't have said it, but, I'm a bitch. But you said it right. You know what I'm saying? My brother, the Reverend, I was talking to the Reverend, he was like, all these Reverends and yogis and bitches, the truth gotta come out.
Cut it out. Rev know he my guy. The Rev know he my guy. I was hanging out with Dickie and all them doing things. Rev know how we rock. Tell Rev stop playing.
Well, it's a good line. Stories that we come out of the hood and people judge us when they come out of, having either silver spoon or they come from a different place. Why are we the most spiritual people? Why are we the most compassionate people? The most loving people, despite coming out of this struggle, slavery and apartheid in some cases and all over the world. I'm in Indonesia right now. I'm sitting there, I'm looking at these 3 niggas. They got, when they rub lotion on, this shit got lightener in it. It got bleach. No, I'm serious, right? Yes, you do. You niggas got bleach. Doesn't all the skin softener have bleach? Yes? Come here, look in the camera, tell them they're giving you bleach. Nobody want to come? These niggas they rub bleach in because white supremacy is taking a burden on us all over the world. Right? And as black people in America, it's even worse. Y'all got white Jesus too whenever you play you're Hindu, but a lot of the Christians here, they got white Jesus, right? What the fuck they doing with white Jesus? What the fuck is going on? Jesus is white in Indonesia, right? Is Jesus white? Why the fuck is Jesus white? Explain that to me. So white supremacy is taking a burden on all of us. And we the least of all the people on this planet, the black people, the darker people. Darker people mean you're slaves damn near, right? Honestly, darker people mean you work in the field and somehow are less. Even though working in the field is more hard. You know, you're closer to God, don't worry. I don't want to say nothing racist, but you're closer to God. The Dutch fucked you over, right? The Dutch fucked you over. Everywhere in the world, a white man fucked over niggas, period. Everywhere. So why are we the most spiritual? These people are Hindu, deeply spiritual people, or Muslim, but they're deeply spiritual people who have heart and are very generous and kind and happy. And black people in America who should be madder than a motherfucker are the same way. So that's just our reality. But God has got us on deck to stand up. That's just my opinion. I'm only going to preaching. But so Uncle Murder, you came from Brooklyn. A lot of your friends got murdered. You made it out. And you're kind of a hero amongst rappers. You can't just say, oh, be good. And then they say, oh, this bitch nigga. You have to say the benefit of making it easy, getting out of the suffering and the stupidity in ways that you learn that people can digest. That's why we need you in Queens to call these niggas in cases where there's violence and tell them that, you know, but you ain't getting nothing out of it. Or tell them, you know, you have to find the word. You know, I've been able to find the words at times. Definitely. You can find the words. You're a peacekeeper. You know, and you're an example, a living example. When all your friends are dead, you're a living example of what they can do to go forward.
No, so, definitely.
Tell me more about, you know, your bio record. I want to play that too, I guess. That record you sent me, which I've heard before, about your life.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how far it goes.
That's the Don't Come Outside Vein 3 intro for the project I just dropped.
Right, the project you dropped. Tell me about it.
It's called Don't Come Outside. Don't Come Outside Vein 3. It's aggressive. There's a lot of aggressive content on there. This won't be the project to actually play for the kids that you need me to talk to. Because this project right here might have them go shoot some more motherfuckers up. So I would have to make a whole different project for them, Russell. You know what I mean? I'm just keeping it real. This project ain't for the kids. This project is aggressive content. It's like, yeah, this project is on some, I don't give a fuck. I've been there, I've done that, and I'm just, shit is fucked up, and I'm just trying to get it. You know what I mean? This project is aggressive content. So I wouldn't definitely play this for the little homies that we trying to stay in the right direction. But,
you know, the cautionary tale still. I remember when I made a South Central Cartel album, and it was called something. And I said, why don't we change it to something that really explains why you're saying what you're saying? And they changed the name of the album. It was a gold album. And these niggas was hood. They wouldn't even come. They came to Beverly Hills in my house, and they had BVDs, they had Jerry curls. These niggas look like they don't belong in Beverly Hills. They said, how do we get home? Let me just tell you how we are. Like, you know, niggas don't leave Brooklyn. How do we get home? If you drive down South Cienega, nigga, you know, South Cienega take you all the way to, they said, but how do we get home without the police pulling us over? Like, they couldn't even go out in the street without being afraid to get thrown on the ground by the police. That kind of abuse. They didn't feel like they belonged in Beverly Hills. They can go to Compton and pull out guns and go motherfucking crazy, but couldn't go to Beverly Hills, not only to shop, to visit me. So y'all got guns in the car? Like, what do y'all got in the car? Is there drugs in the car? No. We just don't want to get pulled over and thrown on the cement. So the white man treated them so bad. And their experience in America is so horrific that they just don't even know how to get into the real world. So the explanation of how, that's what I always thought about gangster rap, quote unquote gangster, was it's an explanation You listen to it, you get an understanding and a mindset.
Yeah, what somebody's been
say,
through, what they seeing in their neighborhood, their surroundings, and their life experiences and things of that nature.
True. The life experiences are not shaping, and there's a compassion in them still. There's a loyalty. Oh, man, all the gangsters I know are the nicest people in the world compared to. There's Erica Ford. I got to call her back. But
Erica.
Right. Well, that's all right. Erica, I'm on the phone with Uncle Murder right now. I'm live. I gotta hang up. But you know, the impact of having grown up in that hood, and all the hood, Queens, Brooklyn, Compton, Chicago, Chicago. People don't understand. They want to act like judging and putting people in jail is the answer instead of giving them programs and rehabilitation and, you know, all of the work that we got to do. It's a lot of political work that people got to do, and they got to force. They got to vote. I know voting sounds, you know, like a waste of time, but they got to do all that shit. They got to do it all.
Yeah.
Because it don't matter. Like you say, oh, it didn't change. It's your effort. God wants you to do the work. You don't have to see the change. Do the work and forget the results. Just do good work, and your karma will help you to become not only a greater giver but a greater getter. You'll do better in the world if you just put a little effort into saving these lives of these kids. So I don't think that the records, like we changed the name to In Gats We Trust. And so why you say that? Because we don't trust our mothers in many cases. We don't trust the police. We don't trust these niggas in the hood. So we trust our guns. So that's why I was calling Gats We Trust. And then they talked about a little change of the words. And you already have those changes. So you explain why you're like you are.
Definitely.
And the people have insight.
There's another record I got to get over to you too, man. There's a record on my project with me, my son, and Tamika Mallory. It's called Change Gonna Come. I'm actually about to shoot a video for this record, real deep, you know, talking about all the negative things about the police and what's going on right now and things of that nature. Like, this is a real dope record, man. So I definitely got to get that to you, too. This is a dope record.
Well, Tamika is a friend of mine for a long time, and I'm very happy to see her coming out. But civil rights leaders, they all compromised. They ain't really shit, a lot of us. I mean, they're not bad people. They're certainly doing God's work, but they're doing it with compromise.
Definitely.
They all paid for.
Of course.
They all paid for. They all turn their back on Minister Farrakhan. They all do whatever the corporations make them do. And Tamika is not sold out.
Copy.
Right? Tamika's like really
she's solid.
full
solid.
in.
Yeah, she's solid.
She's solid.
Yeah.
And I'm, that's why I say, why do black people like Farrakhan? We don't like him. He don't like us. Yeah, the white man's the devil. He didn't mean individuals. He meant the collective consciousness, the collective action of white people has oppressed black people throughout the ages. And everybody else who's even white, who could open their voice, they're mostly quiet. It was nice to see them marching for Black Lives Matter in such masses. Because there's a change coming where people recognize the sameness of each other. And maybe they work together, because I always believe that was the only way to get not sympathetic, but compassionate and understanding white people to see the error, just like, we see. Like, you can't fix the hood without you. It ain't going to happen. If we don't have people like you working with Tamika, if we don't have people who understand the mindset, and Tamika does too, but to really live in and understand the mindset of the struggle, you can't really talk to them. They're not listening.
Yeah, they act like they're listening as soon as you walk away. They're like, get the fuck. For real.
That's why Nation Islam was good when I was a kid, because they used to come on house when we was out selling drugs, and they would come on house and they had on alligator shoes that we bought, that we wanted. They had on the suits, and they were like, brother, don't do that. When the church people would walk by, they scurry by them up and scared of us. But the Nation Islam would stop and talk to us, and it was very important for me as a kid coming up. The Hollis, we had the mosque, the steak and take, the rehab. We had them everywhere. The bow ties was everywhere we grew up. And they was like right there with us. They all just came home from jail. We respected them. and they spoke our language, you know. So that's really important in order to reach those who are struggling in the hood. Give them some of them a perspective on a way out, an example of a person who made it out.
Definitely.
So that record of Change Gonna Come is you and Tamika. She's on the
me
record.
and my son and Tamika on there talking her talk. Yeah.
Oh, my son is a good brother. He spent his whole life now saving lives. I marched with my son when he was a kid.
Yeah, definitely. What he doing is dope. Definitely.
So you close to all of them, and they really respect you, and they know that you on, like, young people don't know better, and they ain't gonna listen to nobody else but you. And it's very important to me that you are plugged in to all those people, so you can be a resource. So let's talk about your career. You got a new album. It's very important. I want people to buy your album because I want to see you become the star you deserve to be. I mean, you're already a star. Like, niggas all love you, right? Everybody loves you. Everybody on the West Coast, the East Coast, all of that, they all respect. And your wrap up, I Googled your wrap up today. It's on every single body got it. It ain't just, everybody got it. Everybody picked it up.
Nah,
they pick up.
Definitely.
So, if there's something I can do, you can bring your family, them 2 little girls, you can bring them here. You got 2 girls, huh?
Nah, I got 1 girl, 2 boys. I got 3 boys and 1 girl.
Ah.
Yeah,
so
3 boys. Yeah.
So you gotta, man, you better be careful who you diss on your records, nigga. Because you gotta live. You gotta be careful with these stupid motherfuckers you say something about. Because some of the shit you said, I thought the Tory Lanez thing was funny, but at first it wasn't funny to me. I was like, this nigga, he's not snitching, but what he's saying is really, it's confrontational. And then you say, I don't know if that really happened, but I just made that. What you say about Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion, you said something.
She ain't stopped
and I was
twerking
like,
yet. Meg ain't stopped twerking since she got shot. You know what I mean?
Right, you ain't busting grape, nigga, with your gunshot. and you was mad because you ain't getting no pussy.
Yeah. Tory my guy too, man. I had to get him a little bit, but that's my guy, man. Me and Tory actually got a couple of records and all that too, man.
I've never met him, but it was good the way you said that didn't really happen. I was like, I don't want you to get no trouble, nigga. I don't want no problems for you. So when you said it, I was like, oh shit. And he shot her because she ain't. I was like, that's a lot.
Coming from where I come from, man, the last thing I be worrying about is rapper problems. They'd be like, I'm just, I ain't gonna lie, Russ. The last thing I be worrying about is rapper problems, man. Be like, man, listen, go ahead.
I used to always say that, I go back to Mike Concepcion because I lived in L.A. a lot, and he was like, it's always by the protector. I always had many, hood niggas that protected me. They used to say I was goofy because I wouldn't give a fuck. I'd walk up to Suge Knight and say, well, why don't you give so-and-so his money? Like, what do you got to do with it? I don't know. I used to talk to anybody, but especially rappers. I can say anything to rappers. But there's a moment where, niggas have their problems and so forth. So rapper problems, the gangsters would be like, go on over, Mike used to say, nigga, if you don't go somewhere and rap or something, get the fuck out of my face. If you don't go somewhere and talk and shit, you in the wrong household talking about gangster shit. And he would always remind rappers that they wasn't gangsters. He'd remind them out of nowhere. Chase him around the club with his wheelchair. You motherfucker, come here. Threatening people. Go get your house in Malibu and shut up. He used to say that a lot.
Look at that.
It's true. You're poets. If you're a poet, you don't have to glorify your friends who are gangsters because you can tell them you should be a good light for them. If you're successful, egging them on is not a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of it and say it the way you can say it. So I always told rappers that, don't emulate people who got a rough life and your life has gotten easy. Don't brag about people who are on their way to jail or to their death sentences, and then tell kids that that's okay. And I know that
unless it's Harvey Weinstein, let that motherfucker go ride that motherfucker. That's what he's saying.
They don't do that. But he's in jail. This has been a good reckoning. I would say this is a good reckoning, you know, because 30 years ago and 40 years ago, the stories even I had to deal with, 40 years ago, people have different recollections of the same experience. But all of them were a time where people lived a different life. And even now, we're learning that women sometimes have different experiences, and the sensibilities of men are not always, you know, we just didn't want to hear no. We just didn't want to hear, you know. So that was the way it was back then. And the world's changing now so much better. And what's important that's come out of this movement is this rise of feminine leadership and this rise of the feminine touch, or the divine feminine yogis refer to, in us as men, a more sensitive, nurturing, and giving spirit, and around us in our women, and more so in our women. And so we need women in leadership roles. So revolutions are bloody. A lot of niggas, I mean, I don't know, 100 rappers got in trouble over this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in Hollywood, a lot of people have gotten, they all know they said something. That's why they bitches when it was time for them to stand up for me, a lot of them. Now they slowly whispering, I was there, I didn't want to say. You know, they were scared. Because everybody's scared. Everybody said something. Everybody can get, you do it to anybody. Everybody can get it.
Mm-hmm.
So they were scared. And that's okay. Scary niggas. People said, ain't you mad at so-and-so? He knows better. Right? Nah, he's a bitch. You know, 50 said, oh, they suckers, Russ. 50 made a movie. 50 made a movie. Now, how about this? About the people that Oprah witnessed, the witnesses. He filmed them. I said, we don't want to put that out. We don't want to get in the mud with our accusers. We don't care.
Definitely.
It's behind me. You know, it's behind me. God has me here in where I am to build a platform to change the lives of black people. They are dying because of their diet. They're dying because of their health routines. And God wants me to do something special with this last chapter of my life. Not get entangled with that. I shouldn't say entangled. That's what you did.
Entangled.
You said the entangled.
Please tell Will I'm sorry. Tell Will I'm sorry.
Will's my man. I know he was hurting. I can imagine. I feel the same way for him. You know, you went far. But it wasn't bad, really, because I'm sure he's laughing. He's laughing somewhere because he's not really an egotist, right? So he's laughing.
No, I know Will got a sense of humor, man. I know he got a sense of humor.
He definitely got a sense of humor. So that's in your. For those who don't know, in the rap, there's a little bit about everything that happened this year, culturally, some political things, some cultural things. It's just a real wrap up of what I think a lot of people in our community went through and experienced or had feelings about, felt a little way about.
Definitely.
So, entanglement. 50 did something. I was like, damn, 50, I hope you call him up and apologize. Cause he said, what'd I do? Remember that text? The text message. Well, 50, no, he said something. He said something and Will responded like, fuck you, 50. And he said, what'd I do? And then he put his text message on he put it on blast. I was like, oh shit. But that ain't nothing. Niggas don't care. Niggas don't care. We still love the fuck out of Will and Jada. And they raised beautiful children.
Definitely.
But yeah, you dissed everybody without dissing them. Like nobody really could be mad at you.
Yeah,
you ain't make nothing that niggas want to go shoot you over, I don't think.
Yeah, I hope not, man. Shit.
And again, you said you ain't scared of rappers. I love that.
Yeah,
you ain't scared of rappers. They rappers.
The shit I've been through, man, rappers, man. Shit.
50 said when certain rappers who really could help me didn't stand up, he said, oh, that nigga, they're bitches. They just can't help these suckers. Everybody don't have the same courage as everybody else. You know, I've never been scary. You know, I'm not a gangster. The minute I got a hit record, I completely just became like a whole different nigga. Even around that time, I was changing from having, been a little drug dealer. I was always a little bitch anyway. I remember when they gave me the gun and said, shoot the nigga that robbed me. No, I'm telling you the most bitch-ass story you ever heard. I was a kid, I was only 14, though. I didn't know any better, maybe 15. And I used to sell just weed at that age on House Avenue. That was the hottest weed spot. Everybody would go there. And then the Armstrong, I won't say their real name. We call them in my book. the red and his brother. They robbed me. So one of them was on house, and then all of us chased
Them
him.
niggas robbed my nigga Russell. Where them niggas at, Russ? On some real shit,
So
man.
you wasn't born. So they chased me over to the corner, and they gave me the burner and said, shoot him. And I was 14, 15. I shot over the nigga head, and he climbed over the fence and went away. The next day, him and his brother both got murked robbing a liquor store. The next day. So, sigh of relief. Right. So, but that story, the only time I ever heard guns. So I really wasn't really, you know, a gangster. I was in a gang at 7 Immortals. We were young. We were real young. We didn't even have no guns. One nigga, Herbie Cartwright, had a gun. Like, there'd be a gang fight. The Black Spades, the Black Skulls, 7 Immortals, whatever. We in a gang fight. One gun go off. Everybody scatter.
Oh, you better
scatter
believe
like
it.
roaches.
That's how I be in the hood. Hell yeah, they had that gunshot. They out. Pew.
But back then, anybody else had a gun. So it was much worse. Like one gun go off. Who got the gun? And it's me on our side. So it was really, you know, I'm old. I'm 63 years old. I'm about to lay down. But before I lay down, I want to do some good. God whispered in my ear that I got a plan to try to help our people in many ways. You know, I care still about the prison industrial complex and the way they locking niggas up like slaves. I care still about the factory farming industry poisoning our people. There's 2,000 contaminants in this world that are not 2,000 in the world, but that are not available in Europe. 1,800 are available in America. So they're poisoning you in the food. I care a lot about, there's so many issues of violence in our hood. I got peacekeepers in 25 cities. I'm trying to continue to help with Captain Dennis Muhammad. Programs like Man Up and Erica Ford's program in Queens and Brooklyn that I need to help. I got a list this long of things that God still wants me to work on. So
now,
I'm still working.
Right? Yeah, let's do it, man.
Yeah. And but I really am proud of you. You escaped. Just any black man that comes out of the experiences you came out of, and then you become what you are and you're a good father. That's a big deal.
Nah,
so,
definitely, man. Definitely.
And be careful in these streets.
I definitely need to come out to that villa you showed me.
Oh, I got a villa. I call it the Snoop Dogg Villa. It's not finished yet. They're building right now. And it was because I got a 5-bedroom house I built, right? And I'm building a hotel for yogis, a whole teacher training place. But the house I built for Snoop is because I thought that my little Ming Lee suite, my daughter's suite, they're too small for him. He'd be like, nigga, I'm going down the block to a hotel. So I thought I got to build something for Snoop. And then also those are examples of the houses I'm going to build for people in the community. And then from here, I have a talent agency. So I got work. Got a lot of shit I'm doing. I'm hustling. And I can't stop working. And I came here to get out of the press because it was a scandal. And I went back and forth like 10 times. And then one time I came here, I started buying land and building because my kids love it here. They've been here 3 times a piece. They just left here. I can see niggas. I can see you. When I was a kid, we couldn't see niggas.
Definitely.
Right? We didn't have FaceTime. We had no motherfucking FaceTime. and we didn't have phones. When I used to go out, they had a phone like that. Hello? So where you at, Russ? I'm in the cafe. What you do? How you get to the cafe? Or you on the phone? Nigga, you know what I mean? I was, back then, we didn't even have phones. So with all this technology, I feel like I'm in Queens or Brooklyn or Beverly Boulevard or wherever when I speak to people. So I like it here. And anybody who ever came here would be thrilled at the prospect of living where people are not toxic, where there's a lot less COVID, and where people are deeply spiritual and happy. It's vegan Disneyland out this bitch. They got the best restaurants on the planet. So come fuck with me. You're welcome to come and hang out with me whenever you get ready.
Definitely.
And stay safe.
Of course, man.
We're going to play. Tell me which song from your new album. Send it to me. And then we're going to play your wrap-up.
You already got the intro and the wrap-up. I'm going to send you Change.
A Change Gonna Come.
Yeah, I'm going to send you Change.
A Change Gonna Come.
My son, Tamika.
An intro and a rap. With Change Gonna Come with Tamika Mallory. And the intro. We're going to play the whole wrap-up of the year in different segments. And then, you can always call me, man. I work for you. Be careful in the street. and give niggas advice so they can be careful in the street.
Of
And
course.
I love you, man. You know,
Love you
and,
too,
and
Russ.
thank you for
Appreciate you,
taking your
man.
time. God bless you, baby.
Definitely, man. Same to you, Russ. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Love.
Now, see, love. See, when you have people like that, you can't talk to these kids in the street as a preacher. And you can't talk to you until they're really in trouble. It's too late. You can't give people a perspective on life, and it's not one of right or wrong, and the judgment of these people in the street is not helpful. If you love people, you want to help them. And you meet someone right there who's seen it all and who can give it all and can help so many people, then make sure you befriend that person and help that person do better and do better for others. So anyway, this wrap-up, if you haven't heard the wrap-up in its entirety, you'll hear it edited in pieces here. If you haven't heard this wrap-up, or the last wrap-up, or the one before, they're just great. They're amazing. That's what he's known for more, even than his record. Every year he does a wrap-up. So, Uncle Murder, thank you for joining me. Love Uncle Murder. Always did. Since the minute I heard his first record. He was always one of the rappers, one of the best rappers in the game. He needs maybe a giant record to help him, but he got a lot of good records, so many. So God bless you all. I'm going to go to class. Namaste.